Hello and welcome to Podcast.init, the podcast about Python and the people who make it great. I'd like to thank everyone who has donated to the show. Your contributions help us make the show sustainable. When you're ready to launch your next project, you'll need somewhere to deploy it, so you should check out Linode at linode.com/podcastinit and get a $20 credit to try out their fast and reliable Linux virtual servers for running your awesome app. You'll also want to make sure that your users don't have to put up with bugs, so you should use Rollbar for tracking and aggregating your application errors to find and fix those bugs before your users notice they exist. Use the link rollbar.com/podcastinit to get 90 days and 300,000 errors tracked for free on their Bootstrap plan. You can also visit our site to subscribe to our show, sign up for the newsletter, read the show notes, and keep in touch. To help other people find the show, you can leave a review on iTunes or Google Play Music and tell your friends and coworkers. You can also join the community at discourse.pythonpodcast.com to find out about upcoming guests, suggest questions, propose show ideas, and talk to other listeners. Your host as usual is Tobias Macy, and today I'm interviewing Annapoornima Koppad about her career with Python and her experiences running the PyLadies chapter in Bangalore, India, and being a director for the Python Software Foundation. So, Annapoornima, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi Tobias, good afternoon. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to interview with podcast. I've been working on Python for the past 3 years. I started in July 2013, and then I founded the PyLadies Bangalore chapter after that. And soon, mid this year, June 2016, I was elected as one of the 11 directors of Python Software Foundation, and I've carried out my work with even more dedication after that. So, and it's been a great journey so far.
And how did you first get introduced to Python?
I had taken break from my programming career, looking for something alternative careers. I got into patent analysis. It was during that time that I felt I had to get back to programming. So I started look for ways to learn programming again. But I earlier coded in C and other languages, which I didn't like that much. So I was looking for a better language to learn. I tried a couple of other languages, trying to learn C again, just to see if it whets my appetite this time. That didn't happen. And then I read about Python, and I started working on Python, and I found that it was to my liking, like the way I wanted it. So there it started. I started a course on Udacity. I took the course from Udacity, and then I started programming in Python, and then that's how I got started with Python.
While I was preparing for this interview, I found a book that you self-published on Amazon. I'm curious what your experience was like writing that, and what motivated you to do it, and also who the target audience is for that book.
I wrote that book that I have self-published on Amazon for people who are beginning out in Python, just like me, like who have no clue what the even the simple tasks are. It can be anybody from like high school to college student, or a person who's in a different domain but wants to learn Python or use Python in his work. It'll help him definitely. I can promise you that. And I've also been teaching a course at Indian Institute of Science here in Bangalore. So I use my book for teaching Python to people from, say, chemistry background who literally have very less experience in programming, and that helps them a lot. That book is really help for them. It's for such people that I wrote that book, because I started out like that. I understood what my troubles were, so I could relate to that, and I came out with that book. And it took some time and effort to do that, but it was worth it.
And can you tell us a bit about your experience with starting the PyLadies group in Bangalore? I'm wondering what some of the biggest challenges are that you encountered, and how you've approached the task of growing awareness and membership for the group.
Yeah, that's something that I would definitely love to talk about. It's been a long journey. Like when I started out programming in Python, I actually joined the meetup group, Bangalore Python Users Group. I went to the meetup group, and found that there were very less members. Like the numbers were staggeringly low for women. And the meetups happened in like Electronic City, which is like almost like, I live in North Bangalore, and the meetups were happening in South Bangalore or close to. For me to even to travel to that place would take me like 2 to 3 hours, if not more than that. That's the least I can say about my traveling time. So it wasn't working out basically. So I started asking why there weren't many women as there should be. Women face a lot of problems at work. Like they need, if they have children, they need childcare, and then if and things like that, the subtle things that will not be taken care of. a woman cannot instantly decide that she has to go to a meetup or a programming co-working space and start her programming back. That doesn't happen with women. But on the other hand, if a man wants, he can do that. He has the liberty to do that. He can leave his child with his wife and just go wherever he wants to go. That doesn't happen with women. So I decided that I'm not going anywhere. I'll do it from wherever I am. So that's how I started. Then I do mostly online meetups where people don't have to travel. That was one of the things. There are a lot of challenges that I've faced so far with running PyLadies Bangalore. As it is, a number of volunteers that come forward to take up initiative to do nothing with a cost. Like, I don't get paid for much to do what I do, but I love doing it and that's why I'm doing it. That's my motto. But not many people can take up that kind of responsibility. That's what I've seen. And even, but there's one thing that I can definitely do is I can help them. I can lead them if they're willing to even put in a little bit of support, and then I'm good to go. That's one of the major challenges. If people come forward, I can handle the most of it. All they have to do is contribute in whatever they can. That's one of the biggest challenges. And finding places in Bangalore which are like closer to everyone stays, a place where everyone is has to travel minimum. That's like one huge problem. I'm still trying to understand what is that women, why is that women take a step back when they have to come forward. I'm not able to understand. I'm not able to place my finger on it and say this is the reason why this is happening. But that's one of the social aspects that I would definitely want learning into. I would want to learn more about it. Those are some of the things, yeah. And some people, and couple of other things, small nitty-gritty, painful points where there were people who were making statements about my group, without even me having knowledge about it. I had to really take a step, put a strong foot and say, okay, this is something I've been doing and I have to be telling things about it and not somebody else. This happened with me, and so that isn't as major as other people coming forward and saying, okay, I want to work for PyLadies Bangalore, contribute 4 hours of my day on a Saturday to come and do a meetup. That's one of the major things. I don't find many volunteers. I don't find, but the reception has been warm. I'm not telling it's totally nil, but it has to grow. I mean, that's how. Those are the things that I faced with PyLadies Bangalore and the journey so far.
And you mentioned that a number of those meetups are conducted online, so I'm wondering what sorts of technological solutions you've used to make it easy for people to attend in that manner, and I guess what some of the challenges are with actually facilitating it that way.
That's one of the things that I also face, like my broadband connection, it conks up. That's one of the infrastructure problems, you can say. So hopefully I should be able to resolve that with some way or the other, have a better broadband connection. And internet connection is always a problem. You never know when it goes off, and I mean, at least in Bangalore, it's very unreliable. But still, I have been successful in doing some of the meetups online, so I'm good with it. I use Google Hangouts, I use Skype, I use meetup groups to announce, and then I have a mailing list for PyLadies Bangalore, and I post on my blog, and then I post. I have a Stack Overflow where I post in questions if I'm stuck and if I'm not able to answer and things like that. So I would request all of the people also to come forward and do things like join my meetup, encourage me to do more, contribute in whatever possible they can, even if it is the tiniest bit that they can do. I'm good with it. I'll be very happy to welcome such people. But now, and I've seen that it is growing. The interest is growing. And I'm happy about the trend. I don't see me going back on this. I would like to continue doing what I'm doing. And just for if this podcast is reaching out to many people, I would like to know that the first PyLadies conference is happening in Bangalore. We are planning for tentatively May. So if there are people out there who want to come and sponsor and things like that, I would be more than happy to welcome you. Thank you.
And you mentioned that you've been teaching at the Indian Institute of Science. So I'm wondering what kinds of subject matter you cover there, and how much of that you're able to, and how much you're able to incorporate Python into those lessons.
I am teaching Python at Indian Institute of Science to people who actually are looking to learn Python. And this is for people who are already working or already doing their research or are enrolled in their PhDs and want to learn Python to use in their work. These are the kind of people. This is not like a high school group. This is like more like at a bachelor's level, master's level, and your PhD levels. So I am teaching to those people, and it is only Python. I start from the basics, and then I delve into one of the major advanced topics, say natural language processing or machine learning, whichever they want to. I am in the process of refining my course work and things, but it's happening. That's what I'm teaching at Indian Institute of Science right now.
Are the students who are attending largely coming from a scientific background?
Pretty much from the engineering background. Right? So I have a couple of students who are from the basic sciences, who are into applied sciences. There's a student from chemistry, and then there's a students from biology background. But they have the basic mathematics skills, not the programming skills. But then I help them, so that they're good with that. Yeah.
I was just curious if you had looked into incorporating any of the materials from the data carpentry or science carpentry workshops.
I have not had the time and time to actually look into. As it is, I'm doing so much that it takes up most of my time. I would definitely love to do that. Once I get free myself for all my responsibilities, like all other things that I'm doing, then probably I might have the time and bandwidth to look into other things. I would definitely love to look into them. I will use them. It's not like I'm going to... No information is not useful. Everything is useful, basically. The only thing is how much are we able to grasp and absorb and hold it inside us. That's the only thing that holds me back now. And with the given space, I have to eat, I have to sleep, and then I have to do my work. That's like 24-hour space is not enough anymore.
So what is it about Python and its community that has inspired you to dedicate so much of your time to contributing back to it?
Yeah, one of the things that actually inspired by Python is that it's open source, in the sense like you're free to modify code, and then you're free to distribute in public licenses, and you basically, it's like you have a product and you're able to re-engineer it to suit your needs. That's one of the things that got me hooked on to Python. And there's a ever-growing community that it's fast-growing, that is contributing, and there's so many projects to work on. It's just a vast expanse of sea, and I'm just looking at it standing on the edge of the beach, I should say. That's how I see it. And it's been a great experience, working on Python, teaching others Python, and doing trying to get this word across to everybody else. It's been a great journey. Some of the things that actually attract me to Python is that it's open source, and then the ease of language, and I have used other languages. I have written in a couple of languages before. I know a little bit of C, but that's way back into 10 years back, around say 2005. I was using C and a language called Protel, which is the proprietary languages. But none of them have given the comfort level that Python has given me. So I don't know if it is the language. It's just so easy to learn. This magic didn't happen with any other language. So that got me hooked, and I'm not unhooking myself anymore. I'm not trying to unhook myself.
So you have been voted in as a director of the Python Software Foundation, and I'm wondering what responsibilities that entails, and what are some of the things that you are hoping to achieve in your time at the PSF?
Some of my responsibilities include, we keep getting grant requests for holding Python workshops all over the world. We decide whether it's they've given a reasonable reasonable accounting of the expenses needed and things like that, and then we do discussions on whether we should fund. Mostly I've been voting on grant requests and stuff like that, but then I would like to do some of keynoting and things like that. That'll be in the long run. But generally my responsibilities, these are making decisions with all the 11 members of the board, saying whether when somebody submits a proposal to start a new project, and they want funded, then they want fiscal sponsorship, all those things we the directors of the PSF take a call on those decisions. We have a lot of discussions going on, so I just contribute in whatever I can. It's not too much of work. It's more voting on all the decisions that get passed, and if you have a word or two to say about anything, then you're able to put in that. We help each other. Like, if somebody's in a place where they can't, what do you say? When they're sending a request to someone in India, then they would have me look up the details of the location, the cost of living, and things like that. I do that as the director of PSF. So those are my primary responsibilities PSF so far.
And what are some of the things that you would like to achieve while you're at the PSF?
See, I'm already working with PyLadies Bangalore, so I would align my goals and ideas for PyLadies Bangalore with the PSF. There's not much more that I can do. I am already in the process of teaching Python to a couple of colleges and schools in Bangalore. I have done with the institute called I've already done with an Impact in College of Engineering in Bangalore, and then there's in a school in Bangalore. I have like 2 more schools and a couple of other colleges that I've gone and spoken to that I can hold my Python sessions, and I hope to do it on a regular basis. Hopefully that should take off. And being one of the directors of the PSF actually helps my word. Like, it's not somebody who's coming and saying that I'm going to do Python sessions for you. It is the director of PSF who's coming forward to do the sessions, and that makes a lot of difference in the way people look at me. It definitely helps me. It's just the way people look at it.
So, are there any other topics that we should cover?
One last message. I'm doing the PyLadies conference for the first time in India, in Bangalore, in May 2017. So if there is anybody wanting to help, please, I'm reaching out to them. Please feel free to come forward and let me how you can help me. Apart from that, I'm good with it. Don't have any other comments.
And is there a website or any other source that people should go to look up information about the PyLadies Bangalore conference?
I am working on those. I have a pyladies.co.in website, and I have a conference.pyladies.com, which is all work in progress. So it's going to take some time. It should be out in a couple of months. 1 or 2 months from now.
For anybody who wants to follow you and keep up to date with what you're doing, what would be the best way for them to do that?
You can write me an email. You can subscribe to my meetup group, and then I have a personal blog, and I have my Facebook page. Please feel free to reach out anywhere. ANNAKOPPAD is my handle on Twitter, on Facebook, and on anywhere you write me an email. I'll definitely reply back to you. It might be slow, but I will definitely reply back to you. Yep.
So with that, I'll bring us into the picks. For my pick today, I'm going to choose the tool FluentD, which is it's a tool for being able to process log and data streams from multiple different sources and then filter and enhance them and send them to other destinations. So I've been using it primarily for aggregating the logs in my infrastructure to send to an Elasticsearch cluster for interacting with via the Kibana project, but I've also been able to use it for being able to split some of those log streams to other destinations for other people to use for their own purposes, and it's just been really easy to get started with, and it's also has fairly low resource requirements. So for anybody who's looking for any sort of streaming data processing for log data primarily, it's definitely a good tool to look into. And with that, I will pass it to you. What do you have for picks?
Yeah, I'm definitely reading the LOTR, Lord of the Rings book. Apart from that, I watched the movies recently, The Stalks, and there's a street called Food Street. It's in south of Bangalore, and it's like the whole street is filled with really tasty, spicy, good stuff. So if you are in Bangalore, please drop by. We can have food at the Food Street. I welcome you to do that.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to tell us about the work you've been up to, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay. Thanks, Tobias. Thanks so much.